It's Wednesday, February 11th.
To start something brand new today, to have to design and procure would take time. We talked about, speed is of the essence right now. Time is of the essence.
Saskatchewan's big city mayors joining calls for federal infrastructure funding to arrive faster.
Whoever knows something, please come forward.
Saskatchewan mother pleading for answers about her daughter's death. And we're coming up on free fishing weekend in Saskatchewan, but you need to know the rules. We'll have those for you coming up at about 6:40 this morning. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Free fishing weekend is nearly upon us, but that ice is starting to get
thinner and thinner. Yeah, still seeing those positive temperatures. We're expecting to get some more snow into next week. For now, everything's still melting.
Could use some snow or at least more sunshine to get rid of those snow ridges on our streets. My goodness. Let's get over to news. We begin with the community and country still coming to grips with an unimaginable tragedy in northern BC, where at least 9 people were killed in a mass shooting.
We are not in a place now to be able to understand why and what may have motivated this tragedy. This was a rapidly evolving and dynamic situation, and the swift cooperation from the school, first responders, and the community played a critical role in our response.
It happened in the town of Tumbler Ridge. 7 of the 9 victims were found inside the local high school. 2 more victims were found dead in a nearby home. The suspected shooter was also found dead at the school, suffering from self-inflicted injuries, and several others were injured. An emergency alert urging residents to shelter in place was lifted last night, and police don't believe there is an ongoing threat to the public. Both the elementary school and high school in the community will be closed for the rest of the week.
Imagine what the community is going through, but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight to wrap these families with love.
Premier David Eby says it's an unimaginable tragedy. He addressed the mass shooting at a news conference in downtown Vancouver, urging residents to offer support to the survivors. The mass shooting has prompted waves of condolences from across the country, including from the Prime Minister. In a statement last night, Mark Carney said he is devastated by the horrific shootings in Tumbler Ridge and joins Canadians in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly today. Carney has since suspended his plans to travel to Halifax. He was expected to announce his government's long-awaited defense industrial strategy before flying on to Germany to attend the Munich Security Conference. His office says he's postponing the announcement and suspending his overseas trip for the time being. The mayors of Saskatchewan's 2 biggest cities were recently in Ottawa, joining calls on the federal government to get vital funding to cities faster. Donovan Mace with why.
Canadian cities are feeling a sense of urgency as costs to build and maintain infrastructure continue to skyrocket.
Can we get money for something that's already going to unlock the future potential? Because to start something brand new today, to have to design and procure would take time.
Bashinsky joining mayors from across the country in Ottawa last week for conversations with the Prime Minister as the Federation of Canadian Municipalities called on the federal government to funnel critical funding to cities quicker.
Time is of the essence. And so there may be projects that are already planned to go this year that are technically funded through our budget process, but we might be able to get funding and then it unlocks our capacity.
Now, as part of the 2025 federal budget announced in November, Ottawa is allocating $51 billion over the next 10 years to revitalize local infrastructure.
There's different complexities in different provinces, different experiences, but we're just here to emphasize the programs we're putting in place, Canada's new government's putting in place, and how we can work together.
Mayors across this country share your sense of urgency, and we know that economic growth, housing affordability, and public safety all runs directly through Canada's cities.
Mayor Bashinsky says the city is hoping to apply for its portion of funding soon, but eligibility requirements are still being assessed.
How we can get that funding that was announced from the federal government out to municipalities quickly. And, he literally used a timeline of the next 8 weeks.
Now, with projects like the 11th Avenue revitalization, indoor aquatics facility, and Eastern Water Network expansion already in the works, the city has more than $223 million of capital spending earmarked for 2026, and it hopes to catch up to its $1 billion infrastructure deficit in 5 years. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
A former Saskatchewan group home worker accused of assaulting residents testified yesterday, denying the allegations against her. Jeremy Dodge has been following this trial for us. Jeremy, over to you.
Thank you, Daryl. 38-year-old Jacqueline Elias on trial for assault and sexual assault charges, and one count of sexual assault with a weapon and uttering threats. The Crown alleges the incidents occurred between January of 2023 and February of 2024, involving 4 residents who are nonverbal and in wheelchairs. Earlier, Elias's former co-worker testified. Elias rubbed her breasts in the faces of some residents and called them perverts, poked a resident in the groin with a stick, and stuffed a washcloth in one resident's mouth to stop them from drooling. Taking the stand, Elias denied those allegations. She said she called one resident a pervert, but it was part of our running joke among staff. A date for closing arguments has yet to be set. Saskatchewan mothers pleading for answers tonight, urging anyone with information about her daughter's death to come forward. It's a painful anniversary for Lorna Mitchell. 2 years ago, February 5th, 2024, RCMP found 44-year-old Candy Pritchard's remains outside a home on Red Pheasant Cree Nation. Police later found additional evidence in a nearby wooded area. No charges have been laid.
Whoever knows something, please come forward. Or if you witness this, please come forward, and so we can have justice for her and we can have peace. I hardly ever sleep.
Even the smallest detail could help move this case forward, as RCMP believe there are people out there who know something. Anyone with information about Candy's death is asked to contact RCMP, police, or Crime Stoppers. Well, Daryl, we've got a drug alert issued in Regina.
This warning comes after a number of overdoses and deaths in Regina over the past week. 46 overdoses have been reported, with 4 people dying. 3 of the deaths occurred on Sunday. The provincial government has taken a number of steps, they say, to deal with the ongoing drug problem.
Well, that's why we have our mobile outreach teams out there to help these individuals that may overdose. But it is an enforcement piece as well, and you've seen investments within the provincial government that we're making on that enforcement side to get those drugs off the street.
The province has also funded 16 additional beds at the Pine Lodge Addiction Centre. It will provide support to people who have recently completed initial treatment. SaskTel will be shutting down its 3G wireless network on October 1st of 2027. The Crown Corps says after that point, devices connected to 3G will no longer work on their network. SaskTel and Loom Mobile will be transitioning existing customers to 4 or 5G networks, which they say are faster and offer better data speeds and features. 3G wireless technology is being phased out across the world. A man has been charged after what the Canada Border Services Agency is calling the largest narcotic seizure in the history of BC's Abbotsford-Huntingdon port of entry. The CBSA says officers searched a commercial vehicle returning to Canada from the U.S. in November and found 12 boxes containing more than 300 kilograms of methamphetamine. The driver of the truck has been charged with possession of methamphetamine for the purpose of importation into Canada and for the purpose of trafficking. A Saskatchewan child care centre that supports medically fragile children is closing down in Warman. Hope's Home provides medical support and child care for kids with specialized needs. Recently sent a letter to families informing them of the news. It said the Warman location would close June 26th. The charity says the decision is a result of a drop in demand in Warman and the loss of an on-site nursing program. Hope's Home also has locations in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and Regina. On Tuesday afternoon, Farm Credit Canada hosted the Young Farmers Summit at the Queensbury Convention Centre. You heard about that on this program. The one-day event is made to recruit young farmers, but also teach producers the business side of starting their own business and getting themselves on track when it comes to their mental health. Despite initiatives like this, the average age for a Canadian farmer continues to rise.
We need more agriculture people. We need competent. We need them to understand what's going on, and that it's a financial risk for someone to be in $1 million combine when they don't know what they're doing or if they're not competent enough. So there's a lot of push for that younger. I've had other farmers who are above the age of 65 come up to me and say, if you know anybody who wants to start maybe taking over this, because I don't want to sell to the big guy down the street. I want this to remain a small farm.
In the 2021 census of ag, it's said that 3 in 5 farmers are over the age of 55. Team Canada has a chance to add to its medal count today at the Olympics. Figure skaters Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier are in bronze position heading into today's free dance. They're 3-time Olympians skating for the first podium finish in the games. In long track speed skating, there are Canadians in the field in today's men's 1,000 meter. Quebec's Laurent Dubé is reigning Olympic silver medalist in the event. And here's a look at the medal count. Norway is in the lead with 6 gold medals, 12 in total. Switzerland has climbed their way into second. That was, of course, some fishing video. We'll get to that in a little bit. 4 gold. Canada has a silver and 2 bronze. They're now in 13th. So let's get over to the Weather Center, where hopefully my technical glitch gremlin hasn't been bouncing around. Keelan, what's going on over there?
Daryl, you often hear me in the Weather Center saying that we can't have it all here in Saskatchewan, because if it's not one thing, it's the other. If it's not the precipitation, it's going to be the winds. If it's not the winds, it's going to be the temperatures. Today is proof we can have it all. It's going to be a really nice afternoon in terms of those temperatures above the seasonal average. Wind speeds remaining low really all across the province. And we're not seeing a whole lot in terms of that precipitation. So it's going to be a great day across the board in Saskatchewan. -8 to wake us up in Regina. Some clear skies right now. Winds low coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -8, just a few clouds to start the day, and winds coming in very calm, 6 kilometers per hour. Across the province, seeing some really nice temperatures, especially up north this morning. It's not that often in the winter that we see temperatures in the morning at this hour around -7 up in Stony Rapids, -8 in La Ronge, -6 in Prince Albert, and -5 in Melfort. Our cold spot this morning in the province is in Meadow Lake, and they are at -15 right now. Current temperatures down in the south, showing -4 in East End, -3 in Swift Current, -5 in Weyburn, and -5 in Yorkton. Today's forecast into the afternoon, we are seeing some fog, and we actually do have some fog advisories in effect. We're just not really seeing them out in Saskatoon or Regina right now, but we do want you to be prepared for that condition to be changing quite rapidly. The dense fog can move in really quickly, so be prepared for that. -1 though this afternoon in Saskatoon, 4 degrees for Regina, 5 degrees down towards the south in areas in Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, and Estevan. Now, we talked about those wind speeds a few days ago. They were quite elevated today. They're looking really low. We're not really seeing anything in terms of those gusts today. Just the regular winds coming in between 5 to 15 kilometers per hour in most places. Futurecast not showing a whole lot either. We're going to be seeing a lot of sunshine today from many places. You can see some of that cloud cover around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, there around the Parkland region. Other than that, and the winds, the clouds rather, starting to increase into those overnight hours and into tomorrow. We're not really talking about a whole lot. We do see a little bit of flurries way up north, and this is tomorrow morning, but nothing to be too concerned about in the central or southern zones. In Regina, the 7-day forecast looking nice until the weekend there. 5 degrees tomorrow, 5 degrees on Friday, 3 degrees on Saturday with some cloud cover, 1 degree on Sunday. And then we do have some more snow coming in for our next work week, Monday, Tuesday, and as of right now, we're seeing this continue on into Wednesday and Thursday. In Saskatoon, 1 degree tomorrow, -1 on Friday, -1 on Saturday. We do still have the low chance of seeing some very light flurries, getting a break from those flurries on Sunday, and then picking right back up on Monday.
Hello, Matt Scooby inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday, and for it, we go to Russia, where it was a Canadian dominating in the KHL. St. Catharines, Ontario native Taylor Beck was on a mission. 2 goals, 5 assists, setting a KHL record 7 points in 1 game. His team, Sibir, put up a 10 spot over Sochi. Now, 9 players had previously put up 6 points, including Ilya Kovalchuk and Alexander Radulov. But now the Canadian has the single-game record and is your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, Tangerine Raptors basketball. Toronto taking on Detroit. Tip-off at 7:30 Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Well, in case you missed it, this animated universe is expanding with a brand new chapter.
A monster movie?
Sí, con pica kaiju. Arr, arr.
What are you going to use for your monster?
Pause here. Daryl, would you like to do your Gru voice?
Steal some moon.
Great job. Minions and Monsters features all new characters. The film follows how the Minions became movie stars. They end up releasing monsters into the world and have to try and save the planet from all of the chaos they created. It hits theaters July 1st, and I know Daryl's going to be first in line.
Front row. I love the Minions.
What do you think, Jeremy?
I like the Minions movies very much. In small doses, though, I get annoyed, and I have no desire to see them. When I actually start watching, then I get into it, and I like it, and I laugh. But I don't know.
Oh.
I'm too old, maybe.
Oh, Papa.
Yeah.
Question of the day is where we go to next.
Despicable Me.
Where we go to next.
This one is a very wholesome. This was my choice today, so please participate. Today is National Make a Friend Day. So we're asking, how did you meet your best friend?
Well, I met Jeremy through this show, right, Jeremy?
Well, that's right. And I mean, most of my best friends have been met through work, honestly. These are people you spend all your time with. So most of my best friends are current CTV employees. Maybe that says something. Maybe that's sad. I don't know.
That's not a bad thing, though. We're all really good friends.
Are most of your
Okay.
best friends geography? Like my best friend growing up was next door.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I get that. I met Janelle when I came back from mat leave, and she took my job. Still one of my best friends.
True. So you heard the lady. She wants you desperately to answer this question because she came up with it. So text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. We'll take a look at the city of Regina and come back with health news right after this.
Glioblastoma, the aggressive brain cancer that killed tragically hip frontman Gord Downie in 2017. About 1,000 Canadians every year are diagnosed with the incurable disease. As Kevin Green reports, University of Calgary researchers say they may have found a way to extend the life of people diagnosed with it using a common vitamin supplement.
Edward Waldner was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2024 after months of declining health, which eventually sent him to the emergency room in Lethbridge.
And so I did a CAT scan in Lethbridge, and the doctor came back, and he entered the room, and I knew it was bad.
It actually couldn't get much worse. Waldner has glioblastoma.
Unfortunately, it is the most aggressive brain tumor in adults, and up to now it is an incurable disease.
Waldner didn't give up. After surgery and chemo, he enrolled in a research study at the University of Calgary, looking at whether high doses of niacin or vitamin B3 can slow or halt the tumor's growth.
We instantly jumped on it and said, why not? Let's help out with the study. You know, if it helps me, it can help somebody else. So I think it's helping me.
Researchers say the preliminary results have been very encouraging.
Whereas in untreated subjects, 5 of 10 would progress over a 6-month period. In the context of niacin treatment, this was reduced to 2 of 10.
Glioblastoma shuts down the body's immune response to the tumors. High-dose niacin appears to reawaken it. And while encouraging, the results are preliminary, stage 2 of a 3-stage trial.
This interim analysis is hopeful that more patients are going to benefit from niacin. We cannot extrapolate overall survival yet.
While the researchers guard their expectations, Waldner's family believes being in the study has extended and improved his life.
It's a joy. It's a joy to find this. You know, every day we're blessed to still have him, and it's thanks to this.
Researchers are still enrolling more patients into the study with a goal of having 48 undergoing the niacin therapy. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, the researchers caution that niacin at the doses used in this trial can have serious side effects and should only be taken under medical supervision.
Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
It's time for a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in either Regina or Saskatoon, we are at -8 in both cities, just a few clouds and very low wind speeds. By lunchtime in Regina, we'll be at 0 degrees, and by final bell, up to our expected daytime high of 4 degrees with some more sunshine. By lunchtime in Saskatoon, -4, winds remaining low, and by final bell, that expected daytime high of -3, again seeing some more sunshine into the later parts of the afternoon. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price is back at $127.9. The lowest you might find is $102.9. In Saskatoon, the common price just below that, $126.9, and the lowest you might find is $114.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola at $617.23 per ton, and the futures price $667.30 per ton. Amber durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $253.22 per ton. And the Canadian dollar continues to trend up. It's now at 73.83 cents US. Free fishing weekend is nearly upon us. In about 15 minutes, tips from our fishing experts. Stay with us.
.30, good morning. Welcome to your morning. There is still uncertainty about a new link between Windsor and Detroit as we learned that the family that operates the current Ambassador Bridge met with U.S. officials before Trump's threats.
Maroons are the only party that benefits from delaying the bridge. They make a lot more money at the expense of Canadian and American consumers and everyone else.
New York Times, Matthew Morin, whose family has operated the Ambassador Bridge between Windsor and Detroit for decades, met with U.S. Secretary of State Howard Lutnick just hours before Trump threatened to block the opening of the nearby Gordie Howe International Bridge. The Morin family has already made numerous efforts to stop the construction of another bridge. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney has cleared things up, he says, with the U.S. president during a phone call. One of the more recent disputes between Canada and the U.S. could be nearing a resolution. The head of the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration told reporters on Tuesday that he expects Canada to announce its certifying Gulfstream jets later this week. This conflict began near the end of January. The U.S. president said his country would decertify some Canadian-made Bombardier jets and threatened 50% tariffs on all aircraft made in Canada unless Ottawa certify the Gulfstream planes. An inquest into the death of an inmate that occurred at the Saskatchewan Penitentiary began this morning in Prince Albert. Yesterday morning, make that. On November 28th, 2022, 28-year-old Brandon Lipowski was found unresponsive in his cell at the Sask pen, and resuscitation efforts by EMS were unsuccessful. The jury had been tasked with determining the cause of death as well as making any recommendations to prevent similar deaths in the future. This morning, the jury will hear from 2 RCMP officers who were involved in the initial investigation. There are 16 scheduled witnesses. It's being held at the Coronet Hotel and is scheduled to continue until Friday. He had been charged with breaking and entering and discharging a firearm. The Saskatchewan Health Authority has identified possible exposures in 3 southeastern Saskatchewan communities for measles. Health officials say the Wawota Town Hall, the Arcola Medical Clinic, and the Carlisle Pharmacy and the RM of Moose Mountain office were all exposed to measles at different times on February 4th and 5th. Anyone who has been identified and being in those locations asked to monitor for symptoms for 21 days and call the helpline at 811 if unvaccinated or unsure about vaccination status, or you may develop measles symptoms. Police in Arizona have released a man detained for questioning in the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
We'll confront him with images of that person on the porch.
The person was detained just hours after FBI released doorbell camera video from outside Nancy Guthrie's home the night she disappeared. The video shows a masked person carrying a gun and backpack, and he tries to block the camera. At this point, it's not clear if the person detained is the same person in the video. He was detained in a traffic stop about an hour south of Tucson. Law enforcement say they've executed a search warrant at the home and also searched a car. He has not yet been charged. Canadians in Cuba are now being brought home, with Canada's 3 major airlines suspending all flights to the country. But what's about to cost of the trips now being cancelled?
What about the non-refundable cost of the airfare, the vacation, the tours, all that? Unfortunately, if cancellation or interruption insurance was not purchased, or it can't be purchased as of today, they don't have a lot of holdout for any hope of getting any of their monies back.
This all comes as Cuba experiences its worst economic crisis in nearly 70 years, with an ongoing fuel crisis. Air Canada, WestJet, and Air Transat have all announced they're halting service until at least the end of April. Those who already have flights booked will likely be reimbursed, but not necessarily for all expenses. Outside of fuel shortages, experts say the island is also experiencing electricity shortages, a lack of food, water, and medicine. The operators of Eddie Bauer's Canadian store say it's filed for bankruptcy protection in the U.S. and will soon make a similar move in Canada. Eddie Bauer LLC says the 220 stores across both countries will remain open, but it will host liquidation sales as the court process gets underway. If they can't find a buyer, it will begin winding down Canadian and U.S. operations. There are 31 Eddie Bauer stores in Canada, only one in Saskatchewan, that is up in Saskatoon. The Blue Jays are getting the bad news out of the way early as pitchers and catchers report for spring training.
Feeling good. He's playing catch. He's playing catch out to 90 feet. We'll see. You know, I think we're kind of being cautious by saying not at the beginning of the year.
Jays manager John Snyder sharing injury news yesterday, saying star pitcher Shane Bieber is experiencing forearm fatigue and delaying his ramp up ahead of the regular season. Meanwhile, a massive setback for outfielder Anthony Santlander, who is going to miss 5 to 6 months with a left labral surgery. The pitcher Bowden Francis will also miss the entire season with UCL surgery. The Jays open Grapefruit League play, which is preseason play, on February 21st against the Phillies. Opening night for the defending AL champs is March 27th. The Prince Albert Raiders ran their unbeaten streak to 5 games.
Sarkonov's going to drop it back for Christensen. Middle of the point for Cripps now. Back to Christensen, who walks in. Wrist shot, fires, scores! Make it 50!
Lorna Silverson and Justice Christensen each had a goal and an assist as the Prince Albert Raiders beat the Regina Pats 5-2 last night. Pats are now winless in their last 3. They play the Saskatoon Blades in Saskatoon tonight.
Misselbacher stops high, looking to play it low. Save made, and on the rebound they score. That's
nice pass, pretty goal. Jackson Jacobson's 18th of the season was the game winner just 50 seconds into overtime. The Brandon Wheat Kings edged the Moose Jaw Warriors 4-3. Moose Jaw now winless in their last 3. Let's get over to the Weather Center and check out that morning view. Kaylee?
Yeah, this morning view is looking really nice this morning. Sparkly. We can see outside. Morning view is brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. Now, I do want to let you know we do still have some of those fog advisories in effect in a lot of places across the province, mainly in the central zone. And then, of course, once again, down through the southeast corner of the province. It's not so bad right now. We did see some fog earlier in the Parkland region. However, we do want you to be prepared for more fog to be moving in rather rapidly. Just be prepared for it. That's what Environment Canada is warning us of this morning. -8 right now to wake us up in Regina. Clear skies for now. Some winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -8. We are seeing just a little bit of fog, but it's not really affecting visibility out on those roads quite yet. We are going to keep you updated if anything does change. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking really nice. -1 this afternoon for Saskatoon and the Battlefords. -3 for Prince Albert. Again, likelihood of seeing some fog into the early afternoon. Yorkton as well, -3. Down towards the south, seeing a bit more of that sunshine. And we are going to be seeing a lot more of those positive temperatures. For Regina, we're expecting about 4 degrees. And then for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, and Estevan, we're expecting a high of 5 degrees. Just how typical are these temperatures, you might be asking? Well, the average in Regina this time of year, -7.4. And in Saskatoon, the average is -8.5. So both cities above that seasonal average today and well above what we were seeing last year. In Regina, that was -21.7, but with the wind chill, it felt closer to -34. Last year in Saskatoon, it was -21.2. With the wind chill, it felt closer to -30. So significant improvements from what we were seeing last year. The record for Regina back in the year 1928 was 6.1 degrees, and in 1926, that was 3.9 degrees in Saskatoon. And take a look at that sundown time, getting later on into the evening hours. So the days are getting longer. We're We're not quite at spring yet, but there are signs. The futurecast not showing a lot today for precipitation. If we look forward to tomorrow, we do see a little bit of flurries way up north, but again, not really going to be seeing much precipitation in the central or southern zones for the next couple days. That's actually going to be coming into the weekend for some parts of the province in the central zone, and then for a lot of parts of the province, your next work week. And that's the case for Regina. We see really nice temperatures until the end of the weekend, and then Monday we see some flurries moving in. In Saskatoon, we see them a little bit earlier. Saturday still showing a low chance of seeing some of those flurries. A nice temperature, though, dropping down for your next work week with those flurries starting on Monday.
A gangbuster fourth quarter for Canadian cloud-based commerce giant Shopify. It achieved Q4 revenue growth of 31% and a 19% free cash flow margin, marking 10 consecutive quarters of double-digit free cash flow margins. 2025 was Shopify at full throttle, driving compounding growth while laying the rails for the new era of AI commerce. That's Harley Finkelstein, president of Shopify. In the wake of decertification and tariff threats by U.S. President Donald Trump, Bombardier has won a $1.2 billion U.S. 40-plane order for its Challenger 3500 from Dubai-based Vista Global Holding, Inc., one of the world's biggest operators of business jets amid growing global demand for private aviation. Its largest markets are the U.S. and Europe. Vista's aircraft order comes as Brian Bedford, the head of the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, said on Tuesday that he expects Canada's aviation regulator to approve Gulfstream jets there soon. The New York Times is reporting Matthew Moran, whose family has operated the Ambassador Bridge connecting Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, Michigan for decades, met with U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick just hours before Donald Trump threatened to block the opening of the nearby Gordie Howe International Bridge. Sources tell the Times that Lutnick spoke with Trump by phone about the matter after the meeting with Maroon. The president would post his threats about not allowing the bridge to open just before 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
If you like the great outdoors and you want to try fishing for the first time, this is the weekend to do so. It is free fishing weekend in Saskatchewan, but there are, of course, still rules. Jason Matady is here from getfishing.ca. But before we get into free fishing weekend, Jason, of course, we had wonderful temperatures. We can thank Keelan for those.
Yes.
But that comes with a safety message about ice.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had several days in a lot of parts of Saskatchewan where we've been above zero and not even really getting very much below zero at night, and that's usually where things solidify, get stable, harden up, if you will. So there's still lots of ice in many jurisdictions out there. Obviously in the southwest, the Maple Creek, where it's been spring, quite warm. You want to be very, very careful there, but you want to be careful everywhere, Daryl. And I recommend, especially if you're not familiar with the ice and the lake, that you work your way out. Like you basically take a shovel or what we call a spud bar, which has got a wedge on the end, and you work your way out. You test the ice. If it's breaking up in front of you, you obviously don't go out. You watch areas of current around river mouths, like at the Fort Capel Lakes. Those are always dangerous, whether it's warm or not. So you check your way out, cut holes, measure the ice if you're not sure. And just always use caution on the ice no matter what the weather is.
Going to be a lot of people on the water this weekend. Free fishing weekend. What's it all about?
Absolutely. Well, it's been quite a few years now that the province of Saskatchewan added a free fishing weekend on the ice. And it's a really, really fun time, obviously to get out. Usually by February, we don't have to worry about ice safety. Everything's pretty solid. But you do have to follow the rules, and there are a number of rules.
And what are those?
Well, essentially, you have to make sure you go to Saskatchewan.ca/fishing, and we've posted this, of course, on our social media. And there's rules like how many species of what kinds of fish you can catch. Like, for example, northern pike in most jurisdictions, you're only allowed 4. There's a maximum size. Every lake's, I don't want to say every lake, but a lot of lakes have very specific regulations. For example, Buffalo Pound, you're only allowed to keep 10 perch, whereas other lakes you can keep more. That's a perch, in case you don't know what it is. It's got the cool stripes on it, really, really nice looking fish. And people need to know there's a difference between them and walleyes because limits are very different, size restrictions and stuff. So those are the main things you need to know.
Can't help but notice that Jeff catches a lot more fish on video than you do. What do I need this weekend if I'm going to go out for the very first time?
Well, essentially, to keep it super simple, you need to have a rod and reel, like what I brought into the studio today. And I got a couple of different ones. You've got what's the ultralight unit. The one that I got in the video there is a lighter one too. But you got the shorter one, lighter, smaller hook. And I've got the heavier one. So if you're after pike, usually shallower water, about 15 feet. And I know the viewer can't really see it. That's the big hook. This is the little one. I brought some bondies that we use.
Did you ever?
This one, obviously, pike will bite this, burbot will bite this, lake trout, but there's the smaller one. So you want to have a variety of lures, but I figured our friends, what I love about the Bondi Bay Company, they're Canadian made in Windsor, John Bondi, big musky guy down there, but they love pike and lake trout, and walleyes love these too. So, you know, but that's the thing. You want to have a variety of size. Bigger fish generally will be attracted to bigger things, and smaller ones to smaller things. Not a full rule, but a general rule.
There you go. And all the rules are at Saskatchewan.ca/fishing, or you can get them at getfishing.ca. That also comes with a safety message. Stay safe out there.
Now, let's head out on location where we find associate producer Arden Lloyd this morning. Arden, good morning.
Center with the manager of the Regina Pat Canadians, Warren Fry. And Warren, just for anyone who might be a little bit unfamiliar, what separates the Regina Pat Seas from the Regina Pats of the WHL?
We're a minor hockey team associated with Hockey Regina. We've had a long-standing relationship with the Pats going back decades, and they're a sponsor and a supporter of the team, and we also interact with them frequently. So yeah, they're a big supporter and basically a big sponsor of the team.
Right, and this year it's been a very successful season. Defending national champions in the TELUS Cup from last year. You have two superstars, Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh. How is it, working with two superstars on this minor hockey team?
Well, first of all, they're great kids. We've had a couple years, or a little over 2 years with Maddox, and he's been obviously great for the organization, a key part of our win last year, and he's a great kid. And then this year, Liam came and joined our team, and equally as good a kid. He's a pleasure to be around, and he's a welcome addition to our team for sure.
Well, the team around them has had a ton of success so far this year. You currently sit atop the standings, but playoffs are coming up soon. How many games left do you have here on home ice in the regular season?
Well, we have 5 in total, 4 on home ice starting tomorrow night against Moose Jaw.
Right on. And are there any extra incentives for the fans to get out here tomorrow night for what could be the biggest game of the year?
Well, we've had, over the last couple of years, a big rivalry with Moose Jaw, and we beat them last year in the league final, and it was a packed house on every game. And we had a game last week, which was a packed house with about 1,200, 1,300 people, and tomorrow night's no different. And we're offering $5 pre-sale tickets that can be bought online at our website at reginapatcanadians.ca.
Right on. Well, hey, you won't want to miss it. Top provincial hockey minor action in-house tomorrow night.
All right. Arden, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you in just a little while.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Nobody sent in a birthday today, Chase, so we get right over to you. What's going on at the radio station today?
All right. Well, today I'm trying my best here. I'm trying really hard to give away all of that money from Sherwood Co-op. We got $850 in gift cards now. All you have to do is crack the co-op number. So the first 2 digits have been guessed, 5 and 8. And now we've been stuck on that third digit. But honestly, there's only 3 numbers that haven't been guessed, so you got a real good shot of getting one of those here today. If you go to purecountry927.ca, go and look at the incorrect guesses, and then coming up just after 7 o'clock, have us going with the iHeartRadio app. We will play, and hopefully you'll be able to guess your way into $850.
Free cash is the best way to start your day. Thanks, Chase.
Thanks. We'll see you next hour.
unleash the creature that we have feared for more than 3,000 years.
Nearly 30 years after they first struck box office gold together, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are reuniting for The Mummy 4. The pair starred in 1999's The Mummy and a 2001 sequel. A 2008 threequel did not feature Weisz. The new flick is due in theaters May 19th, 2028.
It is my job to tell every single SAG-AFTRA member about the name change.
Kristen Bell is hosting the Actor Awards, and in this promo, she does her best to explain that's the new name of the SAG Awards. The Guild's 32nd annual event streams live on Netflix March 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
You may remember 1967 is the Summer of Love in San Francisco, so a lot of musical things were going on.
And John Fogerty has been making memorable music ever since. The Songwriters Hall of Fame says the Creedence Clearwater Revival founder and solo artist is this year's recipient of its prestigious Johnny Mercer Award. Fogerty will be honored at a Songwriters Hall of Fame gala June 11th in New York. Down on the corner in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, we're going to kick things off with a photo challenge. The goal is to not be in the picture. This is kind of fun.
This is super fun.
One person blindfolded with the camera, the other's trying to dodge out of frame. The results you see are hilarious, and they're going viral. Almost 18 million views.
Okay, should we try this?
Need a lot of room.
I feel like this has to happen.
This is so funny. Okay.
Who gets blindfolded?
Director Corey.
Yeah.
He just said, of course.
That seems most likely. Janelle's going to run into a wall trying to get out of the way. Okay, what else you got for us?
Well, now we go to a husband getting pranked with soap.
Really bubbly though. Did you use it?
Yeah, it's really good, right?
Okay. What? What is this?
The poor guy, he just wants to wash his face. His wife told him his new face wash was really good, so he keeps adding soap into his hands while his eyes are closed. It just keeps lathering and won't stop. Poor guy.
Oh, come on now. Poor fella.
How long until he catches on, though? His face is going to be really clean, squeaky clean.
This poor fella. Even if that's staged, that's funny. Time out. We're back with your weather forecast and your news for this part of the hour as we take a look over the city of Saskatoon. It's Wednesday, February 11th.
2 victims were airlifted to hospital with serious or life-threatening injuries, and a 3rd victim died being transported.
At least 9 people have been killed in northern BC in one of Canada's worst mass shootings.
Canadian Steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. Steel, U.S. workers that were involved. This is a great example of cooperation between our countries.
Minister Mark Carney trying to bridge the gap on a new link from Windsor to Detroit that Trump is threatening to block.
So there's a lot of push for that younger. I've had other farmers who are above the age of 65 come up to me and say, if you know anybody who wants to start maybe taking over this, because I don't want to sell to the big guy down the street. I want this to remain a small farm.
Looking to recruit the next generation of farmer at an ag summit in Regina. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Keeleen. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Big shout out to Arden Lloyd, who just started with us not too long ago, making his camera debut today for us, doing a wonderful job.
And you should have heard Janelle and I in the newsroom just squealing, going, there he goes. Mamas. There he goes. First time on live TV is scary.
It is scary, absolutely. Not for a Norwegian fella at the Olympics. Have you seen this story? This guy wins a bronze medal. He probably would have won silver or gold had he been more focused. Then immediately on camera, they're like, how do you feel? And he goes, well, I would feel better, but I cheated on my girlfriend and I want her back.
And you know what? Who says sports aren't entertaining? Because
drama.
There we are.
Real life drama playing out before your eyes.
Yeah.
Let's get to news. It's less fun. Condolences are pouring in from across the country and around the world after a mass shooting in northern British Columbia in the community of Tumbler Ridge. It's claimed 9 lives plus the suspected shooter. The RCMP first received a report of an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge High School just after 1 p.m. local time on Tuesday. 6 people were found dead inside the school, while an additional victim died after being taken to hospital. An individual believed to be the shooter was also found dead of an apparent self-inflicted injury. 2 more people were found dead inside the home and believed to be connected to the incident.
The devastation these families face, it's just impossible to understand what they're going through without going through it yourself. But I can say for myself, and I'm sure for many British Columbians, many Canadians, it makes us think about our kids' safety when they're going to school. We take it for granted. You go to school, you come home safe. And events like this give us pause.
In a statement last night, the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, said he's devastated by the horrific shootings in Tumbler Ridge and joins Canadians in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly. He's now changed his plans, postponing a trip overseas for the time being. Regina's mayor is joining calls to the federal government for funding to be funneled to Canadian cities faster.
To start something brand new today, to have to design and procure would take time. We've talked about speed is of the essence right now. Time is of the essence, and so there may be projects that are already planned to go this year that are technically funded through our budget process, but we might be able to get funding, and then it unlocks our capacity to be able to build more and catch up faster on our deficit.
She emphasized. Comes after Brzezinski attended meetings in Ottawa, the big city mayors' meetings last week with the Prime Minister and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. The biggest issue, infrastructure. Now the feds have earmarked $51 billion over the next 10 years to revitalize local infrastructure. But Mayor Chad Brzezinski of Regina says the need is urgent.
There was actually a pretty clear direction from the Prime Minister to the Minister to look at how we can get that funding that was announced from the federal government out to municipalities quickly. And he literally used a timeline of the next 8 weeks.
Let's turn things over to Jeremy Dodge with an update on a court case we've been following. JD, good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. A woman accused of abusing residents of a group home. She took the stand in her own defense yesterday. Stacey Hine has more on what she said about the allegations and what's next in the case. A warning, some details in this story might be disturbing to some viewers.
Jacqueline Elias took the stand as the sole defense witness in her trial, denying all allegations against her. The 38-year-old is charged with multiple counts of assault and sexual assault, as well as 1 count of sexual assault with a weapon and uttering threats. The Crown alleges the incidents occurred between January 2023 and February 2024 and involved 4 residents at a group home in Wilkie. The identities of the residents are protected by a publication ban. Court heard the residents were nonverbal, used wheelchairs, and required assistance with personal care, including feeding, bathing, and changing. During her testimony, Elias was questioned about several allegations raised during the trial. One former co-worker alleged Elias put a washcloth in a resident's mouth to stop them from drooling. Elias denied the claim, testifying the resident frequently bit her own hand, causing a wound. Elias said she loosely tied a washcloth around the resident's hand, and on one occasion the resident put the cloth in her mouth, which Elias said she tried to remove. Former co-workers also accused Elias of putting her breasts in a resident's face. Elias denied doing so intentionally, saying she may have accidentally brushed a resident while assisting them, noting her short stature at 4 feet and 10 inches. Elias also denied putting her fingers in a resident's mouth, covering a resident's mouth and telling him he would die, or using a stick to poke a resident in the groin. She acknowledged calling one resident a, quote, pervert, saying it was a running joke among staff. During cross-examination, Elias was asked if she thought it was inappropriate to call a resident a pervert while he was present. Elias eventually responded, probably not. A date for closing arguments has yet to be set. Stacey Hine, CTV News, the Battlefords.
All right, Daryl, looks like we have a drug warning in Regina.
This warning comes after a number of overdoses, Jeremy, and deaths in the Queen City over the past week. 46 overdoses have been reported by officials, with 4 people dying. 3 of the deaths occurred on Sunday, they're telling us. The provincial government has taken a number of steps, they're saying, to deal with the ongoing problem.
Well, that's why we have our mobile outreach teams out there to help these individuals that may overdose. But it is an enforcement piece as well, and you've seen investments within the provincial government that we're making on that enforcement side to get those drugs off the street.
The province says they've also funded 16 additional beds at the Pine Lodge Addiction Centre to provide support for people who have recently completed initial treatment. SaskTel will be turning down its 3G wireless network on October 1st of 2027. The Crown Corp says after that, the point of devices will no longer be connected to the 3G network. They won't work anymore. SaskTel and Loom Mobile will be transitioning existing customers to its 4 or 5G network, which they say offer faster data speeds and features. 3G wireless technology is being phased out across the globe. Several major trials are getting underway involving social media companies. Instagram's parent Meta and Google's YouTube are both accused of creating platforms that are deliberately addictive and harmful to children. Laura Jarrett has more.
This morning, social media on trial, with a number of tech titans facing multiple legal challenges. Instagram owner Meta now on trial in New Mexico, accused of failing to keep kids safe from harmful content and online predators.
The culture at Meta is not safety first, it's brand first.
While in Los Angeles, a landmark lawsuit against Meta and Google, accusing the social media platforms of knowingly designing addictive products that could harm children. The now 20-year-old plaintiff alleging the apps targeted her as a minor with harmful and depressive content, leading to self-harm. In opening statements, her lawyers arguing the platforms, quote, engineered addiction in children's brains.
This was not an accident. This was not a coincidence. This was a direct result of the design decisions that these companies made to maximize engagement over safety.
A Meta spokesperson telling NBC News the company is confident the evidence will show our long-standing commitment to supporting young people, while Google saying providing young people with a safer, healthier experience has always been core to our work. Major tech CEOs, including Facebook creator Mark Zuckerberg, expected to take the stand this month, as well as Instagram head Adam Mosseri, who sat down with Craig last fall.
You make your money when folks are scrolling, sometimes doom scrolling.
We do make money when people spend more time on Instagram overall, but overall, if it's bad for people to use the app, that has to be bad for our business over the long run.
Watching their testimony closely, Lori Schott, who sued after her daughter Anna Lee died by suicide in 2020. Schott says her daughter was a teen who loved the rodeo, but became, quote, animalistic when her parents tried to limit her social media.
I want truth, I want accountability, I want change.
A Saskatchewan child care centre that supports medically fragile children closing down operations in Warman. Hope's Home provides medical support for child care for kids with specialized needs. Recently sent a letter to families informing them of the news. It said the Warman location is going to close June 26th. The charity says the decision is a result of a drop in demand in Warman and the loss of an on-site nursing program. Hope's Home also runs locations in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and Regina. Team Canada has a chance to add to its medal count today at the Winter Olympics. Figure skaters Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier are in bronze position heading into today's free dance. They're three-time Olympics skaters. For their first time, they may be on the podium. In long track speed skating, there are 3 Canadians in the field today. In today's men's 1,000-meter final, Quebec's Laurent Dubray is reigning Olympic silver medalist in this event. There's a look at what's coming up today. Of course, Canada plays Germany in curling as well. And the Olympic medal count is where we go next. Norway leading the way with 6 gold medals. Of course, gold rated the highest. That's why you see them in first. Although they may not have the most medals, they do have 12. Switzerland climbed their way into second with 4 gold. Canada, a long ways to go there in 13th. 2 silver, 1 bronze, 1 silver, 2 bronze, rather. Let's get over to the Weather Center and join Kayleen Sawatsky. Those temperatures continue to rise. We talked about ice safety with Jason Manatee just a minute ago.
Yeah, well, we're still talking about some positive temperatures down towards the south today. In central Saskatchewan, still seeing some of those negative temps, but still above the seasonal average. We're also talking about some of that dense fog this morning. Conditions have been fluctuating a little bit, so definitely plan to look outside before you hit the road. Take it slow because conditions can change really rapidly with these fog advisories when they are in place. In Regina right now, we're not seeing too much of that fog, just a little bit more of that cloud cover than what we saw about 30 minutes ago. -8 right now to wake us up, and 13 km/h winds. In Saskatoon, we were seeing a bit more of that fog a few minutes ago. Now it seems like that has started to lift. Again, though, we're keeping an eye on things that can change quite rapidly. -9 right now, and winds coming in at 7 km/h. The winds, thankfully, going to remain very low all throughout the day and all throughout the province. It's really only going to be between 5 to 15 km/h. Not really seeing those gusts at all. Current temperatures now, we're seeing some really nice temperatures all the way up in northern Saskatchewan. -7 in Stony Rapids, -10 in La Ronge, -5 in Melfort, and -9 in Hudson Bay. The cold spot this hour is still Meadow Lake. Down towards the south, -4 to wake us up in East End, -3 for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, and Assiniboia, and -5 for Weyburn, Estevan, and Yorkton. Today's forecast in the afternoon shows that Swift Current has actually gone up a notch, and so has Weyburn. We're expecting about 6 degrees now. Moose Jaw and Estevan still at that 5-degree mark. Regina expecting about 4 degrees, -1 for Saskatoon, -3 for Prince Albert, and -2 expected in Yorkton. Now, you did just see the snow icon over in Yorkton. Don't worry too much about that. We're only expecting it to be a very light dusting if anything comes at all, because as you can see, not a lot of color on your screen right now, just some fluctuating levels of cloud into the afternoon, and then increasing into tomorrow morning, where we do see some very light snow coming in from northern Canada there, and you can see in northern Saskatchewan it's going to be impacting them in the later parts of the morning. Now, the 7-day forecast showing that temperatures will be getting warmer tomorrow and Friday. For Regina, 5 degrees expected, dropping down slightly to 3 degrees on Saturday with that cloud cover. We're seeing about a 30% chance now of seeing some of those very light flurries. Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, 1 degree, and then some more snow moving in on Monday, Tuesday, and likely to be continuing on into Wednesday and Thursday as well. Saskatoon, 1 degree tomorrow, -1 on Friday. A few flakes expected on Saturday, still -1, 0 degrees on Sunday. -4 on Monday and -9 on Tuesday, although you can see those snow icons, and that's expected to be a little bit more in terms of the snow. Take a look at this rural forecast. We're seeing some really nice temperatures across the board today. 2 degrees for Lloydminster, mix of sun and cloud. More sunshine in Watrous, -1, and -1 in Wynyard. Down towards the south, how beautiful does this look? A lot of sunshine on the way. Coronach up to 7 degrees. Assiniboia 6 degrees. Pilot Butte 4 degrees. And Broadview up to 2 degrees this afternoon. Let's take a look at Big River, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 3 degrees this afternoon, mainly sunny, and some southwest winds remaining low all throughout the afternoon.
Hello, Matt Scooby inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we go to Russia, where it was a Canadian dominating in the KHL. St. Catharines, Ontario native Taylor Beck was on a mission. 2 goals, 5 assists, setting a KHL record 7 points in 1 game. His team, Sibir, put up a 10 spot over Sochi. Now, 9 players had previously put up 6 points, including Ilya Kovalchuk and Alexander Radulov. But now the Canadian has the single-game record and is your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, Tangerine Raptors basketball. Toronto taking on Detroit. Tip-off at 7:30 Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Very quickly before we get to this, I got a lot of people still emailing us saying, hey, listen, you didn't get my email. Where'd my email go? If you're using Sask Morning Live at Bellevue, that show doesn't exist, right? So your morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. Only email that will get us. Okay, it's on your screen. You can scan the QR code in the bubble. That's my rant. A lot of elements go into making the Super Bowl halftime show, including grass. behind-the-scenes video of them dressed as sugarcane bushes during Bad Bunny's performance. He hand-selected the grass for the costumes because of how much it means to him in Puerto Rico. So how did people get the chance to become the grass? Well, there was an application available for people to sign up in the area. One of the requirements listed was height. You had to be between 5'7" and 6'1". Hundreds of people participated in a handful of rehearsals before the big day. And it paid money. You got cash to do this.
Yeah, you got cash to go out and be a grass at the halftime show. I kind of love it.
That's one of my favorite stories from the Super Bowl. The other, Jeremy, have you heard this one? There was a fella, the guy that streaked during the game. There was a prop bet. There was a prop bet. You can bet, will there be a streaker? This guy goes on. He bets a ton of money. He says yes. He goes onto the field. Oh. He wins $110,000 or something like that. He pays 40 grand in legal fees. He comes out 60 large clean. Second time he's done it.
Oh, you're scamming the system. Yeah.
They got to fix that prop bet.
Yeah.
And he also had somebody running interference for him, which means he had a best friend there.
Yeah. So we are asking you today on National Make a Friend Day, how did you meet your best friend? First of all, a thank you, because I did ask people earlier, please send your answers in. This was my submission. We need answers. Karen saying I met mine in second year of grade 1 in 1991 and still best friends till this day. Debbie saying I met my best friend Rosalie in grade 2 in 1961, still going strong.
Now all of Debbie's other friends are like, I thought I was your best friend.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Name them.
Leanne saying, met one of my best friends 33 years ago when we lived in the same townhouse complex, and met my other bestie 14 years ago through our daughters when they were playing club volleyball together. And you know what? If my mom's watching this morning, I take credit for her meeting some of her best friends because she met them through my dancing and became friends with those other moms. So you're welcome, Mom. Kelly from Bigger saying my best friend is my husband and I met him in school. Nice heartwarming answer there. And Sheldon saying I met my best friend when I started grade 3 at Dr. Brass School in Yorkton. Now we are over 30 years and we are like brothers. So some great answers. Very heartwarming for our morning.
And we need more. So you scan that QR code on your screen. We got your morning mystery coming up right after this.
A gangbuster fourth quarter for Canadian cloud-based commerce giant Shopify. It achieved Q4 revenue growth of 31% and a 19% free cash flow margin, marking 10 consecutive quarters of double-digit free cash flow margins. 2025 was Shopify at full throttle, driving compounding growth while laying the rails for the new era of AI commerce. That's Harley Finkelstein, president of Shopify. In the wake of decertification and tariff threats by U.S. President Donald Trump, Bombardier has won a $1.2 billion U.S. 40-plane order for its Challenger 3500 from Dubai-based Vista Global Holding, Inc., one of the world's biggest operators of business jets amid growing global demand for private aviation. Its largest markets are the U.S. and Europe. Vista's aircraft order comes as Brian Bedford, the head of the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, said on Tuesday that he expects Canada's aviation regulator to approve Gulfstream jets there soon. The New York Times is reporting Matthew Moran, whose family has operated the Ambassador Bridge connecting Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, Michigan for decades, met with U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick just hours before Donald Trump threatened to block the opening of the nearby Gordie Howe International Bridge. Sources tell the Times that Lutnick spoke with Trump by phone about the matter after the meeting with Maroon. The president would post his threats about not allowing the bridge to open just before 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
We come to our morning mystery for this morning. We've got our markers. We've got 3 clues for you, and today it is a song, an iconic duet love song released in 1981. Okay. Exactly one of us, I think, was alive, and it's Jeremy Dodge. One of Motown's biggest hits, spending 9 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Okay.
Written by Lionel Richie for a film with the same title.
Oh, I actually know this one.
You know what? I think I know it, but not for...
Because I've seen the movie.
I'm going to be so wrong. It's not Dancing on the Ceiling.
No.
I actually just saw an interview that apparently said his name is pronounced Lionel.
Oh, is it?
Apparently, that's how he said it.
It's like all
That's how he said it.
Like all those, is it endless love? I've heard a question mark. Let's show the answer. Endless love is the answer.
Okay.
Diana Ross on the track. I know it from Happy Gilmore.
Oh, I know it because I've seen Endless Love.
Friends listen to Endless Love in the dark. That's our morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Time for a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -8, a few clouds up in the sky. And in Saskatoon, a notch below that, -9 right now. By lunchtime in Regina, 0 degrees. And by final bell, reaching that expected daytime high of 4 degrees in Regina. In Saskatoon, -4 by lunch and -3 by final bell. A little bit more sunshine by the end of the afternoon. And winds remaining low all day long. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price $127.9. The lowest you might find is $102.9. In Saskatoon, common price $126.9, and you might find it for as low as $114.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola sitting at $617.23 per ton, and the futures price $667.30 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $253.22 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is trading up this morning. It's at 73.83 cents U.S. It's free fishing weekend, but all these warm temperatures mean you've got to be extra careful on that ice. We'll have details for you after the break.
Say on me, welcome to your morning. It is 7:30. Let's get to news. As Olympic action continues in Italy, Canadians are not only taking in the games, but they've established their own celebratory headquarters in Milan, as you'd expect. Here's CTV's Garrett Berry.
There's a sea of red to be found in Milan's Navigli district. The Blues Canal bar has always been a stop for sports fans, but this week here in Milan, it's become Canada headquarters. Thanks to some WhatsApp messages, a little bit of coordination, Canadian fans here have made it their unofficial Canada house. And walking inside, you'll find plenty of Canadian flags, jerseys, and Canadians to commiserate with when dealing even perhaps with a tough loss last night.
We have this WhatsApp group that has started with a couple of members and has now exploded into hundreds of people from across Canada and from other places of the world as well who are coming to join our group and join us here.
Big shout out to Blues Canal. I mean, this is an amazing place. I've just got a whole new room full of friends here, and you know, my hat just kind of is doing the rounds. It's great.
It feels great. I mean, this is a spot in the city, so we're going to be coming back here. You know, we're putting pictures on the chat group. If you see us hanging out here, come on over and say hi. We're making friends, meeting people from all over the country.
Along with all those Canadian flags and jerseys, you'll find some pretty amused Italians taking this whole scene in. As we spoke with some of the staff at that bar, they described the great relationship, the friendliness they found in Canadians, a little bit of stuff they've learned about ice hockey over the past couple of weeks. They say they're open for business for any Canadian visitors who want to stop and find a home away from home. Garrett Berry, CTV News, Milan.
You got a pretty good assignment, I think. Let's get over to this one. There's still uncertainty about a new link between Windsor and Detroit. As we learned, the family that operates the current Ambassador Bridge met with U.S. officials before Trump's threats.
The Maroons are the only party that benefits from delaying the bridge. They make a lot more money at the expense of Canadian and American consumers and everyone else.
According to the New York Times, Matthew Morin, whose family has operated the Ambassador Bridge between the two cities for decades, met with U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick just hours before Trump threatened to block the opening of the nearby Gordie Howe International Bridge. The Morin family has already made a number of attempts to stop the construction of another bridge. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's cleared things up during a phone call with the U.S. president. The U.S. House of Representatives rejected a bid by Republican leaders on Tuesday to block legislative changes to President Donald Donald Trump's tariffs, a move that could allow Democrats to undo U.S. tariffs on Canada. Lawmakers voted 217 to 214 to derail the plan to bar tariff challenges through July 31st, with 3 Republicans siding with the Democrats on the vote. This now opens the door for lawmakers to introduce legislation to repeal the president's emergency tariffs on Canadian goods, which is expected to be introduced as early as Wednesday. They also have resolutions to overturn Trump's tariffs on other countries. RCMP have released video of a side-by-side they believe is connected to the homicide that happened in northern Saskatchewan. They've released this surveillance video of the vehicle captured the morning of December 30th on the Big Island, Lake Cree Nation. Just after 5 o'clock that morning, RCMP received a number of reports about gunshots in the community. Officers found 2 youth who had been shot, their injuries considered serious. 2 men were also found suffering from gunshot wounds. One of them, a 31-year-old, died of his injuries. The investigation has determined the youth were shot by suspects on the side-by-side. Anyone who recognizes the vehicle should contact police. Support workers and maintenance staff at Saskatoon Catholic schools are considering job action. CUPE 2268 and 3730 members representing educational assistants, library workers, maintenance and other support staff in the greater Saskatoon Catholic schools voted in favor of strike action. The vote was held over the weekend with 90% voting in favor of job action. Both unions recently reached an impasse in bargaining over wages. A spokesperson says neither local is in a legal strike position and both groups are prepared to return to the bargaining table at any time. Canadians in Cuba are now being brought home, with 3 of Canadians' major airlines suspending all flights to the country. But what about the costs associated?
About the non-refundable cost of the airfare, the vacation, the tours, all that. Unfortunately, if cancellation or interruption insurance was not purchased, or it can't be purchased as of today, they don't have a lot of holdout for any hope of getting any of their monies back.
This all comes as Cuba experiences its worst economic crisis, as you know, in 70 years, with an ongoing fuel shortage crisis. Air Canada, WestJet and Air Transat have all announced they're halting service until at least the end of April. Those who already have flights booked, you'll likely get a reimbursement, but not necessarily for all of the costs. Now, outside of the fuel shortages, experts say the island is experiencing electricity shortages, a lack of food, water, and medicine. Police in Arizona have released a man detained for questioning in the search for Nancy Guthrie, who is the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Authorities say the man detained during a traffic stop in the small town of Rio Rico, just south of Tucson. A home was also searched. A man who has identified himself as Carlos says he was the person held at the scene for hours. He says he worked in Tucson delivering packages.
Do you think you might have delivered a package to Nancy Guthrie's house?
I don't know. Might have been a possibility. I don't know.
All of this happening just hours after FBI released doorbell video from outside Nancy's home the night she disappeared. The video shows a masked person wearing gloves and carrying a backpack. Authorities say he was armed with a gun and had that on his waistband. Savannah Guthrie shared those images on social media, writing, "Someone out there recognizes this person. We believe she is still out there. Bring her home." The Prince Albert Raiders ran their unbeaten streak to 5 games.
Sarkanov's going to drop it back for Christensen. Middle of the point for Cripps now. Back to Christensen, who walks in. Wrist shot, fires, scores!
Jonas Silverson and Justice Christensen each had a goal and an assist as the PA Raiders beat the Regina Pats 5-2 last night. Pats winless in their last 3. They are in Saskatoon to play the Blades tonight.
Poke check. They find Jacobson, scores!
Jackson Jacobson's 18th of the season was the game winner just 50 seconds into overtime. The Brandon Wheat Kings beat the Moose Jaw Warriors 4-3. Moose Jaw winless in their last 3. Fishing experts are urging safety on Saskatchewan's water bodies. The warm temperatures are welcome, but they could mean some of your favorite spots are a little thinner than they were a few weeks ago. It is free fishing weekend, so there will be more of you out on the water this weekend. Jason Madady of getfishing.ca says safety first.
I recommend, especially if you're not familiar with the ice and the lake, that you work your way out. Like you basically take a shovel, or what we call a spud bar, which has got a wedge on the end, and you work your way out. You test the ice. If it's breaking up in front of you, you obviously don't go out.
There we go. Safety first. Of course, it is warming up, and things are heating up in Saskatoon for some motorsports action, too.
Yeah, I'm really excited because I get to give things away this week. Ram Motorsports Spectacular returns to SaskTel Centre in Saskatoon for 3 shows, February 21st and 22nd. We want you to catch all that action. Enter online at ctvregina.ca or ctvsaskatoon.ca for your chance to win a family pack of 4 tickets to catch the show. And as Daryl just mentioned, temperatures warming up even from what we have been seeing the past couple days, especially down towards the south, seeing some really nice temperatures this afternoon. Tomorrow, also looking really nice across the board as well. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Let's turn our attention, though, here to this morning view. -8 right now to wake us up in Regina. We do have some cloud cover right now. Southeast winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. And in Saskatoon, -9 with that clear skies this morning and 7 kilometer per hour winds. A really nice morning view. And of course, that is brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. Let's take a look at Saskatoon's Saskatoon and everywhere else forecast today. -1 this afternoon, 4 degrees for Regina. And we have seen the temperatures going up in areas down towards the south, including Swift Current and Weyburn, now up to about 6 degrees this afternoon. 5 degrees expected for Moose Jaw and Estevan, -2 for Yorkton, -3 for Prince Albert, and -1 for the Battlefords. So just how typical are these temperatures, you might be asking? Well, the average in Regina, -7.4. The average in Saskatoon is -8.1. So temperatures nicely above that seasonal average. Last year in Regina, we were at -21.7, and in Saskatoon, -21.2. Wind chill was feeling closer to -30 or -34, depending on whichever city you were in. The record back in 1928 for Regina was 6.1, and back in 1926, that was 3.9 for Saskatoon. So although we're not going to be breaking any of those daily maximum temperature records, it's still looking really nice today, especially when you look at that sun up and sun down times there. You can see that the sun up time is getting a lot earlier on and the sun down getting later. So the days are getting longer. Spring is on the way. The futurecast not showing a lot for precipitation today. Tomorrow we do see just a few flurries up north in the province. Other than that, we are mainly talking about Saturday getting some flurries for some areas in the central zone, and then Monday starting for some areas down south. Temperatures, as I mentioned, though, really nice for the next few days. 5 degrees on Thursday for Regina, 5 degrees on Friday. Some more cloud cover on Saturday. Right now, it's looking at about a 30% chance that we see some of those flakes down towards the south. A higher chance for those waking up with us from the central zone. 1 degree on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. 2 degrees on Monday with those flurries starting once again. In Saskatoon, 1 degree tomorrow, -1 on Friday, -1 on Saturday with a few flurries, 0 degrees on Sunday, and more of the snow expected to be coming in on Monday. Saskatchewan's winter weather may be frigid, but it's helping bring the community together. Regina's coldest night of the year walk is back to raise awareness and support for women experiencing homelessness. And Chelsea Lemke is here to tell us more. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's just start by talking about the event itself and what it means for the community.
So this is our 5th year doing Coldest Night of the Year. We call it CNOI for short. The event not only raises critical funds to support our shelters, both My Aunt's Place, which is the only homeless shelter in southern Saskatchewan to serve women and children, and Jones Place, which is a high acuity shelter serving women who are experiencing homelessness in a way that might also include navigating addictions or mental health concerns. But it raises awareness for the realities of homelessness in Regina. So I think that sometimes we picture homelessness to be something different than what we actually experience, which for Regina means that more than 50% of our homeless population is women and children.
So you mentioned some of the goals in terms of the community impact and raising awareness for this, but what are some of the goals in terms of fundraising this year?
Yeah, our fundraising goal this year is $100,000. So that'll support both of these shelters for as long as we can stretch that money to support. Last year, we served over 1,000 women, or nearly 1,000 women between these two shelters and children. We turned away almost 4 times that amount, though. So the funds raised here will help us be able to serve those women, to expand our services, to ensure that they have, at the very least, the necessities that they need to make it through the cold nights.
How can people get involved this year, whether people want to walk, volunteer, or even just support from afar?
Yeah, so you can visit CNOI, CYNON.org/Regina or YWCA-Regina.com to register. You can also show up in person to register at 4 o'clock on the day of the event, which is February 28th. You can join us to walk. You can come in and enjoy some hot chocolate and just learn a little bit about the work that we do. There's an option to register a team. So if you're a little bit competitive, like some of us here are, you can visit the website, register a team. Registration is free, but you can choose to fundraise. So you can challenge your friends, family members, coworkers, your social media network to do something to make a difference this month and make a donation to support your team. You can get a nice little toque like this and show up and have a good time with us on the 28th. So we register at 4 p.m. We walk at 5 p.m. There's a s'mores station, a hot chocolate, and then we have a nice warm dinner afterwards.
All right, Chelsea, we only have about 30 seconds left. So quickly here, many people may not realize the realities of homelessness in our city. Is there anything that you wish more Regina residents understood about who you're walking for?
I wish people understood that it's not a choice, that folks don't choose for themselves and their children to be suffering through homelessness. And there is something that we can do. It doesn't take much, even just to say hello, good morning, and offer a helping hand.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Here's what's happening in our community. On Valentine's Day, there's a tea and bake sale at 2 p.m. out in Kenora at 201 4th Avenue. Admission $6. A steak night and dance on February 14th at 6 p.m. at the Welwyn Rink out in Welwyn. For tickets, call 306-434-6999. Valentine's Day dance on February 14th, 7:30 p.m. at the Hazeldale Community Center. Call 306-547-4284 for more. If you'd like your event featured here, all you got to do is email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, at least 2 weeks in advance.
The Regina Pat Canadians have become a powerhouse in U18 AAA. Tied for first in the league, 70 points with the Moose Jaw Warriors, who they will face tomorrow. So Arden Lloyd is on location for us this morning. Arden, this is a heavyweight bout, right?
It sure is. Good morning, everybody. I'm here with manager of the Regina Pat Canadians, Warren Fry. And Warren, just like we mentioned, big game tomorrow night here in the Cooperators Arena. You have the rivals in town.
Yeah, Moose Jaw's in town. We have a good rivalry with them. We've been one of the top 2 teams in the league for the last number of years, and we've played them in the final last year, and we've had 3 great games against them this year so far.
Well, and besides what will be a thrilling matchup, what are some incentives for people looking to come in and get some entertainment tomorrow night?
Well, our intention is to pack the arena. We're offering free tickets to all high school students. They can come and they'll get free admission. And then we're offering $5 pre-sale tickets. You can go online and buy them. Just look on our social media channels or our website.
Well, and one of the reasons that you guys have been so successful this year, star players like Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh, they have bright futures ahead of them in the hockey world, but how is it to have them a part of this organization this year?
Well, first of all, we're really happy to have them. They're great players and great kids. Max has been with our organization for 3 years, and 1 is an AP and 2 is a player. And he's just an awesome kid and an awesome teammate and a great leader. And this year we have Liam Pugh, who's also a great kid. He's obviously an exceptional player, and they both share time with us and the Regina Pats.
Well, of course, superstars don't hurt, but how do you build a winning culture here in Regina? Year in and year out, you've been competitive for so long.
Well, we have a winning mindset, for one. We want to win, but we also want to develop players. And the two go hand in hand, good players and winning. We have a great coaching staff that embeds that sort of winning work ethic and winning mindset into the players, and they put the effort in, and the kids put the effort in, and it's worked out pretty well over the last number of years.
Oh, right on. If you want to see the best minor hockey in the province, be here in the Cooperators Arena tomorrow night for the Regina versus Moose Jaw game.
All right, it's a date. Arden, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you in just a little while.
It's February 11th, and we have just one milestone to share with you. A big happy birthday going out to Kyle. This shout out coming with love from Tay, Everly, Kyra, and Kyrie.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Chase, recently we were in a commercial for Harbor Landing Village. You, myself, Kayleen, were you happy with your work? Because you got the biggest role of all of us.
I thought it was okay. Like I was surprised burger guy of how good the burger was. So here's a reenactment, which again they cut out the sound for it. But my wife sent me a freeze frame of my part in the commercial yesterday, and it was like, whoa, not a fantastic look. So it was, you know what? I got some notes for my first acting career out there, and it was probably my last one too. But that burger, that was something pretty special. Speaking of things that are pretty special, Eric Church coming into IMAX theaters today. He's going to be there over the weekend at 2. We'll get you some more details what he has cooking there in your Country Minute coming up after 8 o'clock. And then Wine in Wascana this weekend, another opportunity to win after 8:30. We're playing a grocery bill where I give you 3 items and you got to tell me the price closest to without going over.
Unleashed the creature that we have feared for more than 3,000 years.
Nearly 30 years after they first struck box office gold together, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are reuniting for The Mummy 4. The pair starred in 1999's The Mummy and a 2001 sequel. A 2008 threequel did not feature Weisz. The new flick is due in theaters May 19th, 2028.
It is my job to tell every single SAG-AFTRA member about the name change.
Kristen Bell is hosting the Actor Awards, and in this promo, she does her best to explain that's the new name of the SAG Awards. The Guild's 32nd annual event streams live on Netflix March 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern.
You may remember 1967 is the Summer of Love in San Francisco, so a lot of musical things were going on.
And John Fogerty has been making memorable music ever since. The Songwriters Hall of Fame says the Creedence Clearwater Revival founder and solo artist is this year's recipient of its prestigious Johnny Mercer Award. Fogerty will be honored at a Songwriters Hall of Fame gala June 11th in New York. Down on the corner in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Jeremy, sidebar time. What do you got for us?
Oh, we have a look at a very honorable cat.
Me close and hold me. The magic spell is you. This is La Vie and...
I've heard
little
enough. Give him a
Leo.
record deal.
Yeah, that's it. Sign him
Likes
up.
lounging and singing with his human. This is, of course, Livian Rose, a duet, and he is perfectly in sync.
Sounds feline to me.
I would listen to this on my Apple Music.
We got to go to break, meow. Talk to you later.
I see La Vie.
It's Wednesday, February 11th.
It's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter. This is something that will reverberate for years to come.
Mass shooting in BC, leaving officials and a community in a state of shock, trying to come to grips with the immeasurable loss.
Whoever knows something, please come forward.
Saskatchewan mother is pleading for answers about her daughter's death.
I think it's wonderful that they appreciate all I've done.
And in today's good news, towards the end of the show, celebrating a century of a Lanigan community builder. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday, I think.
Happy day of the week.
Happy day,
Happy
Saskatchewan.
Day of the week. And what a warm day it's going to be. We got a warning about ice fishing safety.
Yeah, we also have a warning about some fog this morning. It's kind of been coming and going. Could change quite rapidly, though, so give yourself some extra time. Anyways, even if you don't see the fog outside this morning.
Sounds like our brain fog for day of the week. Let's get to your news for this part of the hour. We begin with this state of shock and devastation in a small community in northern BC after 10 people were killed in a shooting in the town of Tumbler Ridge. Many of those victims were found dead inside a local high school, along with the suspected shooter from what appears to be a self-inflicted injury. Craig Cruz reports.
Authorities are trying to piece together what led to a mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge. What we know so far is that 10 people are dead, including the shooter, with more than half being found at the local high school. The RCMP providing an update Tuesday evening. Take a listen.
6 additional people, not including the suspect, were found deceased inside the school. 2 victims were airlifted to hospital with serious or life-threatening injuries, and a 3rd victim died being transported. We're still triaging other victims, and I don't have updates on whether that number could rise. The scene was very dramatic, and there were multiple victims that are still being cared for.
This all started with a report of an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School at around 1:20 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Police not providing additional detail about the victims, the shooter, or a potential motive, but did say the school is not believed to be the only target.
2 additional victims were located deceased inside a residence. Police are conducting further searches of other homes and properties to determine whether anyone else may be injured.
The mass shootings prompted a wave of condolences from across the country, including from Prime Minister Mark Carney, who said he was devastated by the news of the killings, writing, "My prayers and deepest condolences are with the families and friends who have lost loved ones to these horrific acts of violence." Shortly after, BC Premier David Eby also addressed the mass shooting alongside BC Minister of Public Safety Nina Krieger.
We can't imagine what the community is going through, but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight, to wrap these families with love. Not just tonight, but tomorrow and into the future. This is something that will reverberate for years to come.
And just after 5:45 p.m., an emergency alert urging locals to shelter in place was lifted. Police say it doesn't appear that there is any ongoing threat to the public. Both schools in that community will be shut down for the remainder of the week as that community and this entire country try to come to grips with this tragedy. Craig Crowe, CTV News.
Regina's mayor is joining calls to the federal government for funding to be funneled to Canadian cities faster.
to start something brand new today, to have to design and procure would take time. We talked about, speed is of the essence right now. Time is of the essence. And so there may be projects that are already planned to go this year that are technically funded through our budget process, but we might be able to get funding, and then it unlocks our capacity to be able to build more and catch up faster on our deficit.
She emphasized.
It comes after Mayor Chad Buczynski of Regina attended the meetings in Ottawa, the big city mayors meetings with the Prime Minister and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. The biggest issue, of course, infrastructure. Now the feds have earmarked $51 billion over the next 10 years to revitalize local infrastructure. And Buczynski says the urgent need is there.
Actually a pretty clear direction from the Prime Minister to the Minister to look at how we can get that funding that was announced from the federal government out to municipalities quickly. And he literally used a timeline of the next 8 weeks.
A former Saskatchewan group home worker accused of assaulting residents testified yesterday, denying allegations against her. Jeremy Dodge is following this. Of course, it comes with a warning.
Yeah, Daryl, warning that the details in this story, some of them may be disturbing. 38-year-old Jacqueline Elias on trial for assault and sexual assault charges and one count of sexual assault with a weapon and uttering threats. The Crown alleges the incidents occurred between January 2023 and February 2024, involving 4 residents who are nonverbal and in wheelchairs. Earlier, Elias's former co-worker testified Elias rubbed her breasts in the faces of some residents and called them perverts, poked a resident in the groin with a stick, and stuffed a washcloth in a resident's mouth to stop them from drooling. Taking the stand, Elias denied the allegations. She said she did call one resident a pervert, but that was part of a running joke among staff. A date for closing arguments has yet to be set. RCMP have released a video of a side-by-side they believe is connected to a homicide in northern Saskatchewan. They have released this surveillance footage of the vehicle captured the morning of December 30th on the Big Island Lake Cree Nation. Just after 5 o'clock that morning, RCMP received multiple reports of gunshots in the community. Officers found 2 youth who had been shot, their injuries considered serious. 2 men were also found suffering from gunshot wounds, and one of them, a 31-year-old, died of his injuries. The investigation has determined the youth were shot by suspects on this side-by-side. Anyone who recognizes the vehicle or anyone on it should contact RCMP. All right, Daryl, drug alert issued for the Queen City.
Yeah, as the province opens 16 new addiction treatment spaces, Jeremy, in Regina, the city now dealing with an overdose outbreak. There have been a number of deaths. Wayne Mantika reports.
This van with medical professionals is traveling Regina streets, warning users that bad drugs are circulating in the community. Emergency crews have responded to 46 overdoses over the past week, with 4 deaths. Sunday was the worst, when 3 people died.
Well, that's why we have our mobile outreach teams out there to help these individuals that may overdose. But it is an enforcement piece as well, and you've seen investments within the provincial government that we're making on that enforcement side to get those drugs off the street.
The Ministry of Health doesn't know which specific drugs are involved. It says these fatalities indicate a higher risk of overdose and death from drugs in the Regina area, which may contain opioids or other unknown substances. Just a few days ago, the provincial government gave Regina Police $1.7 million to hire more officers to tackle such problems.
That is exactly why we are putting all of these programs in place, because there truly is no safe use of illicit drugs.
The government is also adding 16 second-stage sober living treatment spaces at this Regina Treatment Center.
Get people, in a good place so that they're able to have sustained recovery in the longer term. So starting from inpatient and then making their way into post-treatment.
The government suggests that the drugs are particularly toxic, requiring multiple doses of naloxone to counter the effects, although unfortunately some people have died. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
SaskTel will be turning down its 3G wireless network on October 1st of 2027. The Crown Corp says after that point, devices connected to 3G will no longer work on their network. SaskTel and Loom Mobile will be transitioning all existing customers to its 4 or 5G networks. If you have a newer phone, you probably have this already, which they say is faster, offers better data speeds and features. 3G wireless technology is being phased out around the globe. On Tuesday afternoon, Farm Credit Canada hosted the Young Farmers Summit at the Queensbury Convention Centre in Regina, the one-day event made to recruit young farmers but also teach producers the business side of starting their own business and farm or ag, as well as keeping their mental health in check. Despite initiatives like this, the average age for a Canadian farmer continues to rise.
You're always hearing we need more agriculture people, we need competent, we need them to understand what's going on, and that it's a financial risk for someone to be in $1 million combine when they don't know what they're doing or if they're not competent enough. So there's a lot of push for that younger. I've had other farmers who are above the age of 65 come up to me and say, if you know anybody who wants to start maybe taking over this, because I don't want to sell to the big guy down the street, I want this to remain a small farm.
Average farmer age is over 55, according to the latest census in 2021. Team Canada has a chance to add to its medal count today at the Olympics. Figure skaters Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier are in bronze position heading into today's free dance. They're three-time Olympians skating for their first podium finish in the Games. In long track speed skating, there are 3 Canadians in the field in today's men's 1,000-meter final. Quebec's Laurent Dubray is the reigning Olympic silver medalist in the event, so we'll be following closely. There's the medal count as we sit at this very moment. Norway in the lead with 7 gold medals, 13 total. Switzerland climbed their way up to second with 4 gold. Canada still has a long ways to go. 0 golds to our count so far, 1 silver, 2 bronze, 13th position. Kayleen Sawatsky, turns out you're quite the artiste. I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, so yesterday my daughter brings me her doodle board and she says, "Puppy, puppy." This is what I drew.
Looks like an elephant.
She smiled very politely and then she used the glider to erase it and said, "Bye-bye, puppy."
Bye-bye, puppy.
She's only 1.5, very polite so far, trying not to hurt my feelings, but yeah, not great. I don't see my career as an artist going very well.
Thankfully, we'd like to keep you here. Listen, good day to take your dog for a walk.
Yeah, we are getting a lot more of that sunshine out there this morning. Sun's coming up a little bit earlier, so a great start to the day. This morning view is brought to you by Affinity Wealth Management. We know investing. Temperature is looking pretty good too to start the day. -8 right now in Regina. A few clouds, those have been coming and going this morning, and some winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -9 right now. Again, seeing some cloud cover, not quite seeing as much fog as we saw earlier on this morning, and winds coming in right now at 15 kilometers per hour. Those aren't really going to be increasing all too much for your afternoon either. Things are looking really nice in terms of seeing those very low wind speeds and not really seeing any gusts today at all. Current temperatures now, we're seeing some warmth up north. We don't typically see -7 at this time in Stony Rapids in the winter, so this is nice to see at this hour of the day. -3 in Prince Albert, -6 in Melfort, -8 in Hudson Bay down towards the south, seeing again some pretty mild temperatures for a winter morning. -2 in Swift Current, -4 in Assiniboia, and -6 in Weyburn right now. Later on into the afternoon, temperatures will be going up into those positives for many places in the south. 6 degrees expected for Swift Current and Weyburn. Moose Jaw 5 degrees, Estevan 5 degrees, -3 in Yorkton. Don't worry too much about that snow icon there. Could be the very lightest of dustings, but it's not going to be impacting your day too much. -3 in Prince Albert, -1 for the Battlefords and Saskatoon. Again, not really seeing a whole lot in terms of that precipitation on our screen today. Just some fluctuating levels of clouds in the afternoon. Actually going to be getting some more sunshine into the later parts of the day, and then clouds will be increasing overnight as we see a very small system making its way into northern Saskatchewan, bringing some flurries tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at this 7-day forecast for Regina, getting a little bit warmer for tomorrow and Friday, up to 5 degrees. Still seeing that mix of sun and cloud, and still seeing low wind speeds. 3 degrees on Saturday with that cloud cover. Right now we are seeing about a 30% chance of seeing some flurries on that day, so it does remain very low. 1 degree on Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, and the higher chance of seeing these flurries and the higher chance of seeing a higher total accumulation of snow is coming on Monday, as Regina reaches 2 degrees and -3 on Tuesday, with those flurries continuing on. 1 degree degree tomorrow in Saskatoon, -1 on Friday, -1 on Saturday. Higher chance of seeing some very light flurries on that day. 0 degrees on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. And again, seeing some flurries starting again for our next work week. Okay.
On this day in history, February 11, 2006, Jennifer Howe won Canada's first gold medal in freestyle skiing, winning the Women's Moguls event in Torino. February 11, 2013, Catherine Wynne became Ontario's first female premier and Canada's first LGBTQ premier. And February 11, 2011, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak stepped down after mass Arab Spring pro-democracy protests.
In case you missed it, sometimes you might go out fishing, can't even get a bite, but sometimes other things might happen. Check out this viral video posted by singer Craig David.
This fish comes flying out. Okay, I'm just going to grab you. Here we go, we're putting you back in. Come on, man. Stay with me, stay with me. So this fish just literally jumped out of the sea, and you're going back in here, my friend.
Yeah, so David's trying to save this flying fish that flew into his room in the Maldives. He's out on vacation, so he's encouraging the fish to swim away after throwing it back, and then, wait for it.
Oh, no. Oh,
wait
no.
for it.
Oh, no. Oh, there he is. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Circle of life, right?
Yep.
Aww.
He captioned the video, "What a divine message to receive. We can't control life's plan."
Yeah.
I guess
He
that's
tried.
true, but I was hoping for a happy ending for that little guy.
Hope you got he's a good server. Maybe you got a tip from that fish. Question of the day is where we go to next. It's National Make a Friend Day. How did you meet your best friend is what we've asked you.
Yeah, and you know, we are definitely not going to get through all the answers today. There has been so many. Tyler is saying, my best friend has 4 legs. Most days humans are too much. And with my silver lab, there is no drama. I always get my own way. Karen saying, my sisters and my brother are my best friends. We have all gone through so much together. We all chat on Messenger multiple times a day, every day. I love that, being close with your siblings, built-in best friends. Julius also going the pet route. Found my best friend at the Humane Society. Adopt, don't shop. Janelle saying, I'm lucky enough to work with both of mine. I love my news ladies. We love you, Janelle.
I feel left out, but that's fine.
Donna saying, we met as neighbors. Lori saying, grew up with my best friend. We met in grade 2, and we are still best friends 53 years later. What a blessing, a true blessing to still have those friends in your lives. Kim saying, I have friends still from school, elementary, high school, and college, but also have some I've met from my kids' school and activities, fellow hockey and dance moms, and of course through work. Heather saying, I met my bestie through a mutual friend. We were tasked to plan her stay yet, and from the first moments we spoke on the phone, we knew we would be best friends forever, and here we are now 25 years later. I hope the other friend is also still included in that one as well.
I want to be best friends with Roger Peterson from BNN. He looks like a classy gentleman.
Me too, and he has a boat. You could go out on his boat.
Hang out on his yacht.
Yeah.
Drink fine scotch.
Thank you so much to everybody who wrote in your answers. We can't get to them all, but we have loved reading them this morning.
Roger, email me.
Researchers are calling it a breakthrough in cancer treatment, and it starts in the gut. A capsule that contains human fecal matter can help patients with certain cancers. CTV's Swida Rassi explains.
You're glad that you actually took the decision to participate in this.
It is in this room where Dimitris Chaskis began his treatments that would lead to his remission.
Joy is an understatement.
Chaskis was given less than a year to live after his melanoma spread throughout his body. But thanks to a clinical trial at the SHUM, he got a second chance at life.
This is where I was given the fecal transplant.
It's called fecal microbiota transplants, known as FMT. Mostly used to treat infections, these pills are now helping to fight certain cancers. Here's how it works. Patients receive a one-time dose of 40 capsules made from stool, donated by healthy volunteers. Dr. Rahima Jamal is a hematologist-oncologist at the hospital.
that doesn't smell, doesn't taste. It's taken within 15 minutes with water, and that's it. That's the transplant itself.
After that, patients begin their immunotherapy treatments, and the results among the 40 patients who took it were striking. Response rates nearly doubled in lung cancer patients, jumping to 80%. In melanoma patients, 75% responded, compared to 60% who did not receive the fecal transplants.
It might not be just about the bacteria that you gain, but more so about the bacteria that you lose. So you lose the bad bacteria, the ones that seem to have a negative effect on your capacity to respond to immunotherapy.
Dr. Jamal says this could open the door to more personalized treatments, targeting the bacteria that gets in the way of cancer therapy. Researchers call it a breakthrough.
Every time you have something new or something that could be improving the outcomes of patients, I think any researcher would be excited.
More testing is taking place. For Chaskis, he's grateful for the doctors and researchers who helped him. He says he only comes to the hospital once every 3 months for a routine checkup.
Of course, it saved my life. I wouldn't be here today talking to you.
Offering him and so many others hope in fighting certain cancers. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
My dad's from Liverpool, and all of his friends would be like, "What do you like hockey for? Liverpool's a thinking man's game, Eric." Mm-hmm. And my dad would go, "Yeah, hockey's a fast thinking man's game." Yeah. You know what I mean? But once you get caught up to speed, it's hard to go back to
Canadian
other sports.
comedy legend Dave Foley is exploring the fandom of other stars, including Mike Myers, in a new series, Hockey Fanatic, streaming now on Crave. Dave is with us this morning. Thank you so much. Big thrill, big fan. Appreciate you doing this.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We saw you talk off the top to Mike Myers about his love of hockey, and I heard Eric Church, the country singer, say this yesterday, that for 3 hours in his shows, you might not agree with the person next to you, but you're all pulling the same way, and he said it's the same for music and the same for sports. How does hockey bring people together, Dave?
Well, I mean, I think is that definitely. I mean, there's been some scientific data about the power of collective focus, and I think that's it's a real thing. I think that happens, like whether it's watching a movie in a theater together or attending a sporting event. It's that you're sharing a point of focus, but you're also sharing an emotional ride together. So I think that has a profound impact on us. And definitely, if you're a Canadian and you're watching hockey, then that fires all your mirror neurons. So, you feel like you're on the ice with the team. So it just pulls, you feel like you're part of a community when you're there.
Dave, you got to see some cool stories from different actors, athletes along the way, but you also got to see a man cave like I've never seen before. Sunil's Canadians lair, I'm going to call it. This thing is incredible.
Yeah, it was very impressive, and tons of pretty incredible memorabilia in there. But I think that one of the nicest things about Sunil was that he became sort of prominent in town with that, and he realized he could use it to raise money for charity, which I thought was fantastic. So he used his love of the Montreal Canadiens to do something good for the community.
As a fan of the game, how cool is it to spend some time with Sam Smeel?
Oh my God, yeah, it was amazing, and and if you ever, and I remember at one point sort of putting my hand on his arm and going, oh my God, he's still just solid as a rock. Not a guy not a guy you'd want to mess with, but a really, really sweet man. It's which is generally the case. Those guys that were known as the toughest players on the ice, you meet them and they're all just incredibly sweet people.
And Jason Priestley, 90210 fame, everybody knows who he is. Where did his love of hockey come from, and what surprised you about that conversation?
Well, I mean, he grew up in Vancouver. That's his hometown. So he's been a Vancouver Canucks fan his whole life, and and he and I have been friends. We actually met through the Bare Naked Ladies in Los Angeles many years ago, going back more than 35 years ago now. But yeah, he's in fact he lives in Nashville right now. So when we were doing it, I called Jason and said, "Well, do you want to do the Nashville episode?" And he said, "No, I want to do the Vancouver episode." So we go, "Okay, well, we'll fly you to Vancouver then." So which was great because he's still very beloved in that town.
For sure. Hey, Dave, before I let you go, what do you want viewers to take away from the series?
I guess just to take away just the human element of the game, what it means to people, how it binds families and communities, and of course just that it is the most exciting game on earth.
Dave, I really appreciate a couple of minutes this morning. Thank you so much for doing this. You at home can stream Hockey Fanatics right now on Crave. The first 6 or 8 episodes are up there for you to enjoy.
Thanks.
Welcome back to your morning. The housing market in Canada is being dragged down by economic uncertainty, and the proof is in a new report by the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It forecasts higher building costs, fewer new homes built, and even more units left unsold. Heather Wright reports.
The headwinds facing Canada's economy are being felt by Canada's housing industry as well.
The general climate environment of uncertainty that has been brought about by the trade tensions and the uncertainty going forward has definitely impacted housing investment.
According to the Housing Market Outlook released today by the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, new home construction is set to decline through 2028 as developers face high costs, weaker demand, and more unsold homes. Condo construction is expected to be especially weak. The CMHC report also underscores the impact elevated unemployment, modest income growth, and slowing population growth are having on the housing market.
Several factors that are spelling out a slower market for the next several years.
While new condo construction is expected to remain high in Montreal, the CMHC predicts a dismal condo market in both Vancouver and Toronto, where inventory is high and sales are weak.
A seller of a new build, you're looking at a full deposit forfeit.
Daniel Zadigan is a realtor who says sellers are losing deposits and then some when trying to sell condos they bought pre-construction 4 or 5 years ago, when prices were high and interest rates were low. But he says the oversupply won't last forever, and the lack of starts will create new problems down the road.
Long term, however, the lack of housing starts is at one point going to show its impact, maybe in a few years, because I know starting next year, I think the housing starts, completions, are going to really start to dramatically taper off.
The CMHC has warned that Canada needs an additional 3.5 million homes to restore affordability by 2030, a goal becoming increasingly difficult to attain. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A Saskatchewan mother is making a public plea, urging anyone with information about her daughter's death to come forward. Tuesday marked 2 years since her body was found on the Red Pheasant Cree Nation. Laura Woodward has more, warning some of the images in this story could be disturbing.
Yeah, this is Candy.
It's a painful anniversary for Lorna Mitchell. 2 years ago, she was notified by police that her 44-year-old daughter, Candy Pritchard, was killed.
She was chopped up, and whoever did that to her, they threw all her parts in a bush.
Pritchard's remains were found on February 5th, 2024, outside a home on Red Pheasant Cree Nation. Police later found additional evidence in a nearby wooded area. No charges have been laid.
It's kind of scary not knowing, that nobody's getting arrested. It's been 2 years, and it's kind of scary. Maybe you're passing by them in some grocery store or Walmart,
Mitchell is pleading for answers.
Whoever knows something, please come forward. Or if you witness this, please come forward, and so we can have justice for her and we can have peace. I hardly ever sleep.
Even the smallest detail could help move the case forward. RCMP do believe there are people out there that know something. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or anonymously submit a tip through Crime Stoppers. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The head of the Assembly of First Nations says separatists are wasting a lot of time threatening to take Alberta out of Canada. This comes as new polling suggests the vast majority of Albertans want to remain in Confederation. Tim Brooke reports.
A resounding message from First Nations groups on Tuesday.
If you vote to separate from Canada, you can't take the land with you.
The national chief says separatists can leave Alberta, but they can't have treaty lands.
That they can take the dirt that maybe their ancestors brought with them under their fingernails when they came over here from other places, because that's the only piece of land that they're going to take.
It's the latest barb in a long-standing back and forth between those who want the province to leave and those who don't. Alberta's last premier falls squarely in the latter camp.
For me, this is personal, and I think it is for a lot of Albertans too, including Albertans who really do believe we've gotten a raw deal and believe in a strong province.
Jason Kenney also believes it's time for stronger messaging from those in charge.
And the fact that you apparently have a large and growing number of people in that party who are trying to turn it into a separatist party is, I think, troublesome. And I think that this is not something where you can be half pregnant.
CTV News emailed every UCP MLA to ask if they've signed Alberta's separation petition. Not one returned our message. And the Premier is still repeating the party line, saying she's working with Ottawa to address Alberta's problems.
If she's saying she wants a sovereign Alberta and united Canada, it sounds like she is giving everybody what they want.
For one Conservative Calgary MP, it's a complicated crossroads.
I refuse to have it just be framed as, one side versus the other. I think that that's really problematic.
Michelle Rempel-Garner says she has vocal constituents on both ends of the separation spectrum. She tells us it should be a learning moment that long-term can address real problems.
I just caution people who might be tempted to devolve this into a rote political wedge to have a moment of sobriety and say, no, this is a moment to bring people together in a constructive way.
The petition for Alberta independence needs roughly 178,000 signatures by May to force a referendum. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Fishing experts are urging safety on Saskatchewan's water bodies. The warm temperatures are welcome, of course, but they could mean some of your favorite spots are a little thinner than they were a few weeks ago. It's free fishing weekend, so there'll be a lot more of you out there, rather. Jason Madity of getfishing.ca says safety first.
I recommend, especially if you're not familiar with the ice and the lake, that you work your way out. Like you basically take a shovel or what we call a spud bar, which has got a wedge on the end, and you work your way out. You test the ice. If it's breaking up in front of you, you obviously don't go out.
That full interview on our website right now. The Prince Albert Raiders ran their unbeaten streak to 5 games yesterday.
Sarkanov's going to drop it back for Christensen. Middle of the point for Cripps now. Back to Christensen, who walks in. Wrist shot, fires, scores! Make it 50!
Yeah, PA Raiders are real good. They beat the Regina Pats 5-2 last night. Pats play the Blades tonight in Saskatoon. Let's get to the Weather Center. Join Kayleen Sawatsky. What's going on in the weather today?
Well, we have a really great day ahead of us, really all across the board in Saskatchewan. We're seeing very low wind speeds. We're seeing some very nice temperatures above the seasonal average. And temperatures right now to wake us up in Regina, -8. Just a few clouds to start the day. We have been talking about those fog advisories in some parts of the province this morning. Parkland region seeing some of that fog this morning. It does seem like it's been fluctuating a little bit, but right now, mainly visibility is okay out there. We do have some winds right now coming in at 13 kilometers per hour for Regina and 15 kilometers per hour in Saskatoon as we wake up to that temperature of -9, mainly clear skies as well to start the day there. Today's forecast, we are talking about temperatures still above the seasonal average, -3 for Prince Albert, -1 for Saskatoon. Down towards the south, some really nice positive numbers on your screen, 6 degrees for Swift Current and Weyburn, 5 degrees for Moose Jaw, and 5 degrees for Estevan. If we're looking at just how normal this is, the average in Regina for this time of year is -7.4. So as you can see, today's high is well above that. -8.5 is the average temperature in Saskatoon this time of year. And as you can see, with that high of -1 today, we are well above that as well. Last year in Regina, we reached -21.7 as the peak afternoon temperature. With the wind chill, it felt closer to -34. Last year in Saskatoon, it was -21.2. And with the wind chill, it felt closer to -30. So again, a significant improvement. The record for Regina, 1928. 1928, that was 6.1 degrees. And in Saskatoon in 1926, that record was 3.9 for this day, February 11th. Let's take a look at this futurecast now. If you blinked, you missed it, but we did see just a few little spots on the radar there. With a few flakes today, it's not really going to be impacting your afternoon all too much. We are going to be seeing a lot of sunshine today. And we are also talking about another system bringing some flurries way up north tomorrow morning. What you're seeing on the screen is at about 10 a.m. for your Thursday. So if you're waking up with us from northern Saskatchewan, be prepared for just a few flakes tomorrow morning. Your 7-day forecast still looking really nice, at least through the weekend. 5 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 5 degrees on Friday, 3 degrees on Saturday. We're expecting to see a lot more of that cloud cover on that day, and about a 30% chance right now of seeing some of those flakes down towards the south, a higher chance of seeing some flakes in the central zone. 1 degree on Sunday and 2 degrees on Monday with some more snow moving in. In Saskatoon, 1 degree tomorrow, -1 on Friday, -1 on Saturday. As I mentioned, a higher chance of seeing some of those flakes in the central zone, 0 degrees on Sunday, and more snow on the way on Monday.
Yes, this is a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, as they say, an NHL preseason game played in Saskatchewan, and we found rare footage of it. An untelevised matchup in Saskatoon between the Winnipeg Jets and Calgary Flames from 1990. There were some highlight reel goals and some nice plays, but this one might be remembered for how rough it was on the ice, mostly because of all the fights. It seemed like nobody was getting along, and the refs had their work cut out for them just to keep the peace. In fact, at one point, you could count 5 Winnipeg Jets players in the penalty box at once. The Calgary Flames sin bin was also getting crowded. In the end, Calgary would come out on top, as this Al McInnes shot wouldn't get through, but Theron Fleury would find the back of the net to give Calgary a 5-4 win. Lots to celebrate, and likely many bruises to show for it.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Woodfinish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Well, as yesterday, Canadians draw inspiration from yesterday's silver in the speed skating relay. There are a lot more skating events still to come at the Games. There's growing concern about the poor condition of the ice, though. CTV's Heather Butts has more from Milan.
Canada's short track speed skating team raced their way to a silver medal here at the Games on Tuesday in the mixed relay. Certainly a very exciting moment for the team. They were thrilled by the result and, more importantly, excited to share in this together after training so hard as that tight-knit unit. But it was speaking with the athletes after the event that we started to learn a little bit more about the condition at these venues. Canada's Stephen Dubois was asked about his crash in the men's 1,000-meter qualifying round, and he said it's bad ice, and he's not the only one. We're also hearing from some American athletes who have said this ice is soft and it's slushy. They say it's figure skating ice, and it is important to note figure skaters and short track speed skaters are using the same venue here, and the Ice Masters only have a couple of hours in between events to change the condition of the ice. Of course, the ice needs to be a different temperature, a different firmness for different sports. The temperature of ice is fairly soft for figure skating. They wanted warmer ice. It's more suitable for their technique and softer landing. And then there's a different temperature for hockey ice. That needs to be quite hard. And short track speed skating, well, they like it to be a thinner, colder ice. The colder the ice, the faster the athletes will go. So initially it was thought to be some equipment issues, but it is perhaps the Olympic venue now that some of these athletes are pointing to. We put this question to Olympic officials this morning. They said they are aware of some issues, but they seem to brush it off and say that their ice master is out all day, constantly checking the temperature and the condition of the ice. One Olympic official saying they've even received compliments about the field of play at their venues. Stephen Dubois said he felt it's really unfair when you train and skate your hardest and then simply the ice doesn't hold, though he does admit that all athletes are skating on the same ice, so that in itself is perhaps fair. He says that He hopes that officials will be able to perfect this ice in the coming days, though now they know what they're working with, and Team Canada was certainly able to handle it well and claim that silver medal. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
The Regina Pat Canadians welcome Moose Jaw to town tomorrow night in a U18 AAA Clash of the Titans. Arden Lloyd is standing by with a preview.
Good morning. We are here at the Regina Pat Canadians clubhouse with manager Warren Fry. And Warren, just a few games left here in the regular season for the Patsies make it into the playoffs. How many games can fans get into the Cooperator Center to see some home matchups?
We have 4 games left. We have a game tomorrow night against Moose Jaw and then 3 next week, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And this game tomorrow against rival Moose Jaw, not only is it a title bout between the number 1 and number 2 team in the province, but you have some extra incentives for people to come out and watch the game.
Right, we're trying to pack the arena. We play at the Cooperator Center, Cooperators Arena, and we're trying to fill the barn. We did it last year in the playoffs, and then we did it last week when we played Moose Jaw. Try to get 1,300 people there. It's an exciting atmosphere when it's full, and we'd like to pack it again. We're offering $5 pre-sale tickets that are available on our website, or follow our social media, and the links are there.
Perfect. And I hear there's a bit of 50-50 money up for grabs tomorrow.
Yeah, we're having a 50-50. Our last 50-50 was $2,200 to the winner, and we're hoping to have another big pot again on tomorrow night.
Perfect. And what really contributes to a winning culture like you have here in Regina? It's been 4 seasons in a row where you're second or best in the regular season. How do you, year in and year out, put a winning team on the ice?
Well, I'm going to start with it starts with the mindset. We have a winning mindset. We want to win every year. We also want to develop players and move them on to the next level. So in order to win, you need good players and good kids, and we have a good mix of that over the last number of years, and a great coaching staff, starting with our head coach, Ryan Hodgins. And we also have great support from Hockey Regina, who's obviously our parent organization, and they're a great help.
Well, if you want some fun for the whole family and the best minor hockey action in the province, be here at the Cooperator Center tomorrow night for Regina versus Moose Jaw.
Greetings, everyone. Computer programs and special screens have made movie stunts safer by removing real-life dangers and creating a controlled environment. But stuntmen are still needed. We spoke with a First Nations stuntman who specializes in horses and is looking to continue making a name for himself in movies and TV. Being an equestrian stunt rider requires athleticism and precision mixed with expert horsemanship. For the past decade, North Star Stonechild has taken his love of horse riding to a global audience, making appearances in blockbuster movies and TV shows. He has a deep connection with the animal that has given him so much.
At this point in time, with my life and where I'm at with horses, it's just like horses in general. As soon as I see a horse, it's really great. It's just, really uplifting. And so being able to kind of really connect with that.
Stonechild has been riding horses for over 20 years. The Yellow Quill First Nations member credits his uncle for teaching him and giving him an outlet at a significant time in his life. He says his jump into movies was simply being at the right place at the right time. Stonechild's work has taken him across the sea, allowing him to meet and work with some of the world's biggest stars, including Leonardo DiCaprio. But he says one of his most special moments was meeting an equine from Warhorse, one of his favorite movies.
He was really crabby. I remember I was trying to pet his neck and he just nipped at me. And I kind of looked at him. I was kind of like, hey, I want to ride this horse. In my head right away. And then, so they're like, yeah, pick your horses. So I immediately picked him. And then, shortly after I find out that he was he was one of the horses that, I loved watching in the movie.
Stonechild is studying acting as well as getting behind the camera in his free time. And as spring approaches, he is preparing to step into the teaching role, passing along his skills to new riders.
Being able to be a facilitator now at this point in my life is really a blessing in disguise, because now I'm able to kind of open up the world to other individuals, to how important, how amazing horses they really are.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Ratings for Sunday's Super Bowl and Bad Bunny's halftime show falling just short of last year's game. On average, nearly 125 million tuned in, compared to nearly 128 million in 2025, according to Nielsen's Big Data Plus rating system. Bad Bunny's halftime show averaged more than 128 million viewers, making it the fourth most watched halftime performance. Dancing with the Stars is going beyond the ballroom. Fans will be able to get up close and personal with their favorite pros and celebrities at a new fan convention this summer. DWTS Con kicks off July 31st in Palm Springs, California. We're getting more misty. Stephen King's 1980 novella, The Mist, is being turned into a movie again. The horror story was previously adapted into a 2007 film and 2017 TV series. Now, Mike Flanagan, who's directed multiple King adaptations, will write and direct the creepy tale of a small town engulfed by a mysterious deadly fog. And happy birthday to Sheryl Crow. The Grammy winner, singer-songwriter, is 64 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Celebrating a century of memories and a lifetime of service.
Family and friends gathered in Lanigan last weekend to honor a beloved community builder. She marked a milestone very few reach. Carla Shinkrick has her story. I couldn't see the
Family, friends, and neighbors filled a hall in the small town of Lanigan for a big celebration, marking longtime resident Blondie Siegel's 100th birthday.
I think it's wonderful that they appreciate all I've done and awarded me with this tea party.
Born Mildred Siegel, she was known as Blondie since she was 17, working at the airport canteen in Prince Albert during the war. She married Herb Siegel at 19, saying he was the best dancer in town. The couple shared their love of dancing, teaching local students how to dance. Herb passed away in 2000, but Blondie still lives independently in their Lanigan home.
She's done so much with her life, and she's always put others first. She's an inspiration.
Giving back has always defined Siegel. She helped establish the town's hospital, a Lutheran church, and the town's kindergarten, all while raising 5 girls. So what's her secret?
Always been busy. Was always such a busy volunteer.
Her dedication earned her the Lieutenant Governor's Volunteer Medal in 2002, recognizing her decades of trailblazing.
She doesn't do it because she's told to do it. She's doing it because she really genuinely cares about other people. And she genuinely cares about, what goes on in her community.
Now surrounded by children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even great-great-grandchildren, she continues to inspire, still crocheting, gardening, baking, and even keeping up with technology using a computer and cell phone.
Always being able to see how strong and amazing she is has inspired me to continue to be that strong person.
Blondie Siegel's celebration was more than a birthday. It was a tribute to a century of service, purpose, and community spirit. Carla Shinkrick, CTV News, Lanigan.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday to her. That's wonderful. I don't know if I'll ever reach that number. My grandma made 101 in Outlook, Saskatchewan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think anyone in my family's made 100.
She was still sharp, too. She could tell you her taxes in 1973 on the farm.
Wow.
It was insane.
I love that.
Insane. Let's get your sidebar. Outlook, Saskatchewan, if you're watching from out there today. A lot of people have been celebrating the Super Bowl in very creative ways. Justin Glaze from The Bachelor has been sharing a series of painted cards. He's turning into the Two of Diamonds into the San Francisco Bay, Golden Gate Bridge, all that kind of good stuff. Neat talent. Don't know how you discover this.
I mean, the talent is impressive. Remember earlier in the show when I showed off I couldn't draw a dog. So
it was a unique elephant-mouse collaboration that you had going on.
This looks really good to me.
The cardboard cutout of the young man?
One of...
That's an unfortunate video change for you there.
Yeah, really, really bad. That's an iconic Hollywood figure there.
Just like this one, taking a trip down memory lane. Oh, we don't have time for it?
No.
Corey, you're so bossy.
Denied.
See you again tomorrow.